Okay, calling the meeting. Is this on? Calling the meeting to order at 3 p.m. Roll call.
Trustee Crane?
Here.
Trustee Wigan?
Here.
Trustee Ursulou? Trustee Bartow?
Here.
Trustee Murphy? Trustee Pearson?
Here.
Trustee Anderson?
Here.
Dr. Smith?
Here.
Let's move on to a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Trustee Wygand, seconded by Trustee, was it Atai? Or who was it? Bartow. Roll call?
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wigan?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou? Trustee Bartow?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy? Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, the vote was 5 yeas and 2 absent. Do we have any community input on closed session items? No. Seeing that there are none, we will now move to closed session. The items are threat to public services or facilities, public employee performance evaluation, conference with labor negotiator, public employee discipline dismissal release employment, and we will return to open session at 6 p.m. Good evening. Call to order. It is 6:01. We will begin with opening ceremonies with a moment of reflection and a pledge of allegiance led by Krista Wygand.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Adoption of the minutes, and Dr. Smith would like to make some comments.
Thank you, President Crane. I have submitted for the board edited minutes, corrected minutes for their consideration. At the same time, they're available for the public. There are copies here, so you can look at that. For folks online, the attachment will be updated immediately, so you have access when the board has access. What we did is corrected several things brought to our attention by some of our trustees. There were some technical errors. 11B, there was a roll call vote, and it didn't show how the vote occurred, so we updated that. 11X, it mentioned Trustee Ursulou as the representative. She's actually the alternate. And because these items were voted on, we want to make sure they're absolutely accurate for the public's consumption. On 15A, on public comment, we added some more information so the public had an idea, a little better idea about what we were talking about. Not we, but the public were talking about. On 20B, the nominee's name was added, and that was President Crane to the item. So there's clarity there and more transparency, not that we were trying not to be transparent. And then we fixed some grammatical errors. There was one error in there that was identified by a trustee where the superintendent mentioned that Dr. Linda Darling-Hammond was a president of CSBA. She is, in fact, president of the State Board of Education. Unfortunately, the minutes are accurate. That silly superintendent did say that she was a president of CSBA, which she is not. So the minutes will reflect what that superintendent said, but publicly recognize that Dr. Linda Darling-Hammond is the president of the State Board of Education. She invited me to a meeting, and I'm hoping that my error will not keep me from meetings in the future. I'll ask for grace and forgiveness. Anyway, those are the edits. They're in front of you, and so the board, if it's their pleasure, can entertain the minutes in a motion as they typically would.
Trustees, any questions? All right, so do we have a motion to adopt the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Wygand and seconded by Trustee Anderson. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Trustee Osoilu?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
All right, the vote was unanimous. Thank you. And now we move on to recognition. And Dr. Torres, take
Hi,
it away.
good evening. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Dr. Shaka, who's going to introduce our principal and our secondary student award winner.
Thank you, President Crane, members of the board, Dr. Smith, Executive Cabinet, and all the guests who are joining us today. It feels like we're always up here constantly recognizing students, and that's probably because we have some pretty amazing students here in NMUSD. So in the spirit of recognizing excellence, I'm excited to hand the mic over to Dr. Bolton, who's going to tell us a little bit about our district student who scored perfect on the ACT.
Thank you, Dr. Shaka. President Crane, members of the board, Dr. Smith, Executive Cabinet, distinguished guests, thank you for recognizing Chandler Green. At this time, Chandler, will you come up here, please? So Chandler's a senior at Newport Harbor High School. She's been a member of our dance team all 4 years. She's been the captain, co-captain the last 2 teams. She also co-founded a nonprofit organization known as Connect, teaches dance to students with disabilities. Last year, she was also top 10 artist in Orange County. She's headed off to Stanford in the fall, and all our students are amazing in the district and at Newport Harbor. Chandler happens to be an academic. She's gone down the academic route and has excelled and flourished. Congratulations on a perfect ACT, and also thank you for representing the dance team and the school so well. And thank you again, Newport-Mesa Unified School District, for honoring Chandler Green, perfect ACT.
Dr. Shaka, if you could return to introduce Dr. Haley and his student.
All right, continuing with the theme of excellence, I'm excited to bring up Dr. Haley, our principal at Corona Del Mar High School, to share a few details about our NMUSD Fall CIF champion.
Thank you, Dr. Shaka. Good evening, President Crane, members of the board, Dr. Smith, Executive Cabinet, distinguished guests. Really excited to have you hear about our wonderful CIF Division III cross-country champion, Melise. I won't be saying the words about her. I'm going to turn that over to our coach, who has been a long-standing pillar in our community, Coach Sumner. So at this time, I would like Coach Sumner, Melise, to come up here right now. Let's give him a round of applause, and I'll introduce Coach Sumner with a little more accolades for him. Behind every great athlete is great mentorship. I think I got this correct, Coach. Coach, not only is the track at our wonderful facility named after him, which was October 10th of 2010, I know, I forgot already. But this man has been the coach at our school for 45 years. 40.
I started 41.
Okay, I'm close. Barely born, yes. Thank you for that. But just an amazing man who has been, like I mentioned, a pillar in our community, developed some great athletes. You're going to hear some accolades, and if you know the courses within Orange County, especially the Mount Sac Hills, you're going to hear how Melise tackled those. So I turn it over to Coach Sumner.
Well, thank you. He just told me today that I was supposed to say something. I thought he was going to say something. We all know about Melise. She's no secret, so it's easy to talk about her. But it's kind of weird when I come up here. I've been coming up here for a long time, probably before most of you were here. It seems like they keep getting younger. Or is it just I'm getting older? I don't know what it is. There's something definitely happening here. But I want to talk about Melise a little bit because it's kind of an interesting deal. I ran into her dad in the parking lot this morning. He was dropping off his other kids at 6 o'clock. They drop you off early so you can get stuff done before everybody else, okay? There's a reason. There's a reason these things happen because the parents are supportive, and she has a wonderful group, a very good family. But the one thing that I was telling him, and I thought, wow, that's what I'll share after you told me I had to talk. I said, well, one of the things that I like to watch the kids blossom, and I like to watch them do well. And in the beginning, you can kind of tell who's going to do well and who's not, and then you get the surprises. Well, she wasn't a surprise. She did well. She did well from the beginning. But she has been kind of a handful for about 3 years, in a good way, because she's kind of quiet. She does everything. She's not a problem. She does everything. But she doesn't tell you what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. And I need that because I'm not one of those yeller coaches. I'm loud, right? I'm loud. But I'm not a yeller, and I'm not a disciplinarian. I like to trick the kids. They tell me what they want to do, and then I'll trick them into doing it. She wouldn't tell me what she wanted to do, so it's hard to trick her into doing anything that she already decided on. But the other day, I saw her look up at the scoreboard, and she was talking to one of the newspaper reporters, and he said, "So what's your next plan?" And she goes, "I'm going to get that 800-meter record." And I went, yes. Okay, I get to go to work again. But it's kind of been like that. As soon as we could figure out what she could do, it was only till the last 4 months or so that she actually said, I can do these things. Because for the last 3.5 years, I've been saying, Melise, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And she finally listened to me about 4.5 months ago. And she has been on fire. She won CIF. She went from CIF to the state championships and got 6th at the state championships. She went from there to Foot Locker to qualify for nationals. She got 6th at Foot Locker, qualified for nationals, and ended up in San Diego at the national championships. So she's been on fire, and we hope that the fire doesn't go out. Okay? Because this is the level where the improvements are hard to get, and they're all small. And she's there now, but she's there. She's at the top of the mountain. It's been wonderful to work with her, especially the last 4.5 months. It's been good. The last 4 months have been really good. So let's keep that going. You probably should say something because it's really your night, not mine.
I wasn't planning to say anything.
See what I told you?
Tell them what you're doing next
Talk
year.
loud enough. Let us know where you're going.
Yeah.
You're going to school, right?
Yeah. I'm currently committed to Cal Poly SLO, and so it was a bit of a hard decision because I didn't want to go too far, but there's many great schools that are kind of further away, and then I visited. It was kind of like I was like leaning away from it, and I ended up visiting with my dad, and I had like a really great experience, and then like a week and a half later I ended up committing. So it was like a really unexpected decision, but I'm really glad I made it, and I can't wait to hopefully get some records. I don't know, we'll see, but well, I'll text Coach Sumner and tell him my game plan, and we'll see. But yeah.
I know. We'll get started.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you.
Okay, next we will have student board member reports. Trustee Wygand.
Hi, so today the topic is studies have shown that having a trusted adult on campus helps students through their high school careers. Can you highlight a trusted adult on campus that has helped you or your fellow students through the trials and tribulations of high school? And then, of course, please share 2 campus highlights. And today we have Valeria Orozco from Back Bay on the dais. You can go first.
So, a trusted adult on my campus, Back Bay High School, is Hugo Solorzano. He's our school's most trusted adult, and that is because when a student is going through a tough time, he's there to comfort the student and to make sure they are doing okay in their classes and outside of school as well. We appreciate he's part of our community in and out of our campus because he understands the culture and our heritage. He has helped reunite our school campus by starting an intramural basketball team on our campus that helps unify the students. He also spends countless hours making phone calls home and talking to students about their problems. He has been an important part of our culture of our campus community. He also helps by bringing energy to all of our school campus events. Every staff and student consider Hugo as family. And the two highlights I would like to share of our school campus are our Quarter 2 awards. Every quarter we have an award show to highlight teachers, spotlight students' attendance, GPA, ELD. Our last awards was on January 18, and our ASB director, Cami Marseille, got Chick-fil-A to donate 100 chicken sandwiches to encourage students to get up and get their awards. Events like this have become part of our tradition, and students work harder to be recognized at these events. The second highlight of our campus is Mr. Z-Bar's garden that is being created behind the D building. The goal of the garden is to teach students how to grow their own fruits and vegetables, and students go there when they feel overwhelmed. The garden makes our school feel welcomed and beautiful.
Thank you. Great highlights. Next, we have Brianna Garcia from Newport Harbor.
Okay. Hello and good evening, Superintendent Smith, President Crane, and esteemed board members. To begin, I would like to say that every teacher and staff on the Newport Harbor campus can be seen as a trusted adult. We truly have the best support system, but today I wanted to highlight two specific ones: English teacher Ms. Zarali and ASB teacher Ms. Boyer. My freshman year, I had Ms. Zarali for English class, but not only was it my first year at Newport Harbor, it was also Ms. Zarali's first year of teaching, so she was still adapting and learning just like us freshmen were. Along with this, Ms. Zarali was also attending school for her master's degree, so she knew what it felt like to have piles of homework every night. She would tell us funny stories about how she was balancing her own schoolwork while trying to grade our essays at the same time. Ms. Zarali understood the pressure of being a student, and it showed as she did everything she could to prioritize her students' mental health, whether that was giving us extensions on assignments when we needed them, or just always being there for us as more than just a teacher. From the first day of school, Ms. Zarali made it clear that her door was always open for students at any time, if we wanted to talk to her or if we just wanted a break and a place to sit down at lunch. Her room is always playing fun music, and she always welcomes everyone with a smile on her face. And the best part is, although I had her 2 years ago as a teacher, I could still walk in today and feel like I'm one of her students again. Similarly to Ms. Zarali, our ASB teacher, Ms. Boyer, has been a trusted adult to not only me, but hundreds of students on campus. Boyer is one of the busiest people I know, as she's not only the activities director, but the varsity girls field hockey head coach and one of the link crew coordinators, so she is connected to so many people that see her as a trusted adult. I wanted to get the perspective of one of those students because I could stand here and give my thoughts about Boyer, but I decided to change it up a bit. So when I asked a fellow member of ASB, she explained that after facing personal trials that bled into her academics her freshman year, Ms. Boyer supported her through it all. She always knew she could reach out to Boyer if she ever needed some campus support or just someone to talk to, and she truly and fully felt the way Boyer believed in her and her potential. Ms. Boyer and Ms. Zarali are the perfect image of what a trusted adult should feel like. Someone who you could talk to about anything without feeling judged, or someone who has helped you and other students through tough times, even with everything going on in their own lives. And so now on to our campus highlights. The first being our winter formal dance, which hosted at Knott's Berry Farm last Thursday night. Every year, Winter Formal is one of our school's most looked forward to events, as Knott's is closed off to the public and students can enjoy rides such as Silver Bullet, Hang Time, and Supreme Scream, along with a dance floor and DJ. This is a great way for students to enjoy a fun night with each other, as the beginning of the semester might feel stressful at times as we try to get back into the flow after winter break. And as an added bonus, the weather worked in our favor this year and it did not rain like the past 2 years. Our second campus highlight comes from this weekend's Girls and Boys Basketball Battle of the Bay Games held at CDM. It was a day filled with a lot of basketball, as our Frost, JV, and varsity boys and girls basketball team all played CDM. Our varsity girls unfortunately did not come home with the win, but they put up a tough fight, and that is what matters the most. Our boys team, however, won their game, and our student section, the tar pit, was packed to the brim. Like, we literally sold out of tickets. And we were cheering on as loud as we could. It was a great time. It was a great game to watch, and you could feel the Sailor pride throughout CDM's gym. We've had a great start to our second semester and hope to continue this energy until June. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter, and it's our newest student board member, Sailor Reddick from Monte Vista.
Hi, I'm Sailor Reddig. And first, I would like to kind of introduce Monte Vista as a school to you guys since we're pretty new here. So, good evening, school board. I'm the student representative for Monte Vista Independent Studies. On behalf of my school, I express our sincere happiness to be here tonight. Monte Vista is a community of 130 students spanning from grades 7 through 12, both as full-time and concurrent members of the Newport-Mesa Unified School District. We have a dedicated team of educators, which includes supervising teachers, each assigned to individual students along with experts in core curriculum courses. We are all online-based, however, our school ensures regular engagement through weekly check-ins. Recently, we relocated our campus from Back Bay High School to the Presidio Learning Center. Additionally, since the pandemic precautions have been lifted, we have permanently closed Cloud Campus. Students like myself chose Monte Vista as an alternative to the traditional in-person schooling due to the flexibility it provides. All courses are equivalent in both time and rigor compared to other in-person counterparts. Our relevant courses are A to G approved, aligning with the admission requirements for the University of California and California State University. Monte Vista offers all courses needed to graduate in Newport Mesa, along with an array of elective courses, CTE programs, ROP classes, thank you, and dual enrollment opportunities with California community colleges. Monte Vista was purposely established to cater to the educational needs of students who thrive in an independent study format. Now, I would like to shift the spotlight to our remarkable principal, Dr. Stevens. In addressing the request to speak about an adult on campus who impacts their students, I couldn't think of a more deserving individual than her. Dr. Stevens constantly works to enhance the Monte Vista experience by staying informed about all activities, engaging with students, and creating an enjoyable learning environment. This previous year, I went into renal failure, and all my organs shut down, and I missed 2 months of school, and if it weren't for her, I wouldn't be graduating this spring. So she, completely had my back through all of that, so I couldn't think of anyone better than her. As we look forward to the future, an upcoming campus highlight is our winter formal scheduled for February 10th. The theme is Enchanted Forest, and it will be held at Marina Park. Then for seniors like myself, we have identified our ideas for our senior projects and are now in the process of designing our projects. In conclusion, Monte Vista Independent Studies and I are excited to be a part of the Newport-Mesa School District and are looking forward to the upcoming events. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sailor.
Thank you. And now we'd like to welcome Lisa Bowler, who will be making the Harbor Council PTA report.
Happy New Year and good evening, Superintendent Smith, President Crane, trustees, cabinet, student reps, and guests. Cynthia sends her regards. We have a few updates to share with you. It seems like a long time ago, but in December, we had our holiday luncheon at the Avenue of the Arts, and it was a fantastic venue with a regally attired MC who was the highlight of the event. We had over 90 attendees. Unfortunately, we had several people who were sick and couldn't attend, but we missed them and look forward to having you at our May luncheon. For Reflections, which was held in November, we had 110 entries, which were the first place winners from each age group and category from 17 participating schools. Of these 110 entries, 27 moved on to the next level of judging, which is at the 4th District PTA. We had a total of 497 entries for Reflections, which was a really good number. As of the end of December, we have 5,146 members. And as usual, it's not too late to join. Just go to jointotem.com. And we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to all who help make our schools and communities amazing. We want to thank all of our 27 PTA school site presidents and the respective executive board members, committee chairmen, committee members, and of course their PTA members, without whom our students and teachers would miss out on a lot of quality programs, assemblies, communication, enrichment, PTA family events, and classroom support. Everyone who joins the PTA as a member supports all the students and programs at that school site. Finally, we want to thank our own Harbor Council PTA Executive Board members for their leadership and mentoring. As a reminder, all PTA members, regardless of their role, do the work of the PTA as volunteers. A huge thanks to our wonderful principals, teachers, and staff also. It's a pleasure to work alongside all of you in support of our students. And of course, last but not least, we want to thank all of you, Dr. Smith, and trustees and cabinet for your steadfast support of the PTA's students and schools. At our next Harbor Council meeting, we're going to be celebrating PTA's birthday. It's actually Founders Day in February, and our oldest PTA is 98 years old, and our youngest is 7. Harbor Council is turning 70 this year. Don't we look young? Okay. And we look forward to a fabulous 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your partnership. Next, we have CSEA, Amy Ching, President, to speak. Happy New Year.
Can you hear me? Okay, good evening, President Crane, trustees, Superintendent Smith, cabinet, and guests. I hope you all enjoyed your break, and I just want to reflect on Lisa that it seems like it was a long time ago, but here we are. We're ready to move ahead full steam, and we look forward to an impactful and productive year. And I wanted to acknowledge the people that came at the last board meeting. And I know I had sent an email after to the board, but I wanted to let you know that it was really important for them to have you hear them and hear what their words. And I want to thank you for listening to them and the words they had to say. And I look forward to continuing to work with my counterparts at the district and a more positive outcome in the future. So I thank you all for that. And also at the last meeting, there was a lot going on, and I wanted to say I'm sorry that I forgot to mention also that we had been working with Leona and Sarah, and we'll be sending 4 people to the Para-Educator Conference this year in March, and I've never been. It's not I'm in business services, but I've just heard such wonderful things about it, and we want to thank everybody for the collaboration. And when they come back, we're hoping to have some kind of share-out training. So the training will be not just impactful for those 4 people and the students that they support, but it can support more training for more employees and support more students. So we're working towards that. Also, just randomly, I was thinking as I was standing here or sitting there waiting to speak, I just wanted to also have a shout out to Leona and let you know that the minute that I've been here in this position, she's been really great to work with, and her dedication shines through. And Sunday, I was coming home from a tennis match, and there's Leona texting me, giving me updates and sending me information and supporting the staff and the students, and I just really wanted to thank her for that and her dedication. Lastly, just a little update on what CSEA is doing. We are meeting for our first negotiation survey meeting tomorrow, so we will hope to glean some great information from our member survey and look forward to meeting with the district and working towards some positive outcomes for members, staff, and students. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Next, we have NMFT President Rhonda Reed.
How nice for Amy to be tall. Looking down at the microphone is right in my face. Good evening, President Crane, trustees, Superintendent Smith, cabinet, and guests here tonight. Happy New Year to everyone. And I will echo Amy. Leona is great about keeping updates and very good with quick communication. I was not at a tennis match, though. I was on my couch. Last week, I, along with a couple of our NMFT members from our joint benefits team, attended the CPHCC annual conference. So that's a Healthcare Coalition conference. And we want to thank the district for providing this opportunity. It was very beneficial. connecting and having meaningful conversations with our CSEA and district partners. On New Year's Day, I was flooded with phone calls from our members and texts. Not everyone calls anymore. They were panicked because their checks were not in their bank accounts. The direct deposit didn't go through. It turns out this was a county-wide program, but many of ours had scheduled automated payments and purchases that were being declined, and they were receiving penalty charges for those. So many newer teachers were really counting on their checks for necessities like diapers and et cetera. So I want to just express my gratitude to Schools First Federal Credit Union for their generosity and graciousness to offer on New Year's Day, so the bank's closed. The only department is open is the fraud department. So they offered any member in need, just call, and we're going to put money in their account, even though they hadn't gotten paid yet. So very generous. We want to thank them. It's a longer story of what may have occurred to cause this delay, but it's problematic that the Orange County Department of Ed has set a January 3rd pay date for a December earnings. So, so that means our educators would receive no checks in the month of December, but 2 deposits in January. So I'm really hoping that with the help of the district that we can resolve this issue and help all of our educators so they won't experience this, hardship that they did this month in January. So thank you.
Thank you. We now move on to community input on not agendized items, and we have a couple.
This is an opportunity for the public to address the board regarding items not on the regular meeting agenda. Comments on non-agenda topics are limited to 3 minutes per comment, up to 20 minutes per topic. A speaker may not relinquish his/her time to another person by order of the Brown Act, Section 54954.2. Very specific. The board will take no action nor have any discussion on non-agendized items. The superintendent may provide clarification during superintendent's comments.
Well done. And now I will call Charlene Metoyer to the podium. And next on a different topic is Mark Hatfield. Hello, past trustee Metoyer.
Nope. Today my hat is, I am here as a representative of the Newport-Mesa Schools Foundation Board, and I am here to actually speak to everyone who's watching us so diligently from their homes and thank everyone to realize that the Newport-Mesa Grant Program deadline is next Wednesday, January 31st. So, oh my goodness, get this weekend, fill out all those grants. I want to thank Mike Shaka, Gabe DeRoyale, Rhonda Reed, and our health team for facilitating the rollout. Typically, we would be trying to get to every school and one at a time, and these wonderful, wonderful people have put this into principals' meetings, gotten the flyers to the teachers' hands. I was amazed at how challenging it is to give money away. I never thought it would be that hard, and yet here we go. So the other thing I wanted to remind all of our teachers, certificated staff of nurses, special ed people, OTs, anyone who's gotten a teaching certificate or qualified, and please remember your principals need to approve your grant. And if you're writing for books, like a classroom set or a new set of books, the district librarian, Julie Vassie, needs to approve it also. And a big shout out for Julie, because we surprised her with this year, and she graciously agreed. And if they are a special ed teacher, please make sure your special ed supervisor knows this. There's nothing worse than being a principal and having someone say, oh, I got a grant. And you say, I didn't know you wrote one. So make sure that all happens. They need to be approved before you turn your grant in, because we're running out of time to be able to return it to you to get it back in time so it qualifies. Everything you might need is on the foundation's website, Newport, all one word, lowercase, newportmesaschoolsfoundation.com. So I'm excited to be part of doing this. Giving money away is way more fun than trying to get it in. And we've gotten already some very, very interesting grants. Grant writers, don't forget, don't have anything identifying within your grant. It'll disqualify you. Thank you for letting us have their time, and I look forward to seeing you at the foundation dinner when we congratulate everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mart Hatfield, and on deck is Josh Lee.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, President Crane, trustees, cabinet, and the guests. I'm here tonight. I'm a parent of a student at Newport Harbor High School, Newport Heights. And 9 months ago in April, we had a whole room here full of parents asking you guys for help with our baseball facility. Fast forward to where we're at today, and everything is, we're so thankful for what the district has provided for us. We want to give special thanks to Ara, Steve Morris, and Lance has helped out, but Assistant Superintendent Trader. The purpose for me being here is to say thank you, and that's on behalf of our kids who are going to enjoy the facility for years to come, including my son who's a freshman, our parents, our boosters. So again, thank you, and I want to reiterate what a pleasure it was to work with Ara. She went above and beyond to communicate with me personally after hours. So if there was ever something that was in question, our questions were answered and we got things resolved. So again, I want to thank everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh Lee, and after that is Wyatt Hahn.
Yeah, I really just wanted to echo what Mark said. I think, reflecting on where we were 9, 10 months ago, sometimes I felt like it would have been easy to not come back up and say thank you. So again, whether that was Ara, Mr. Trader, Lance, Dr. Smith, board members who were out observing the issues that parents had pointed out, I just wanted to say thank you. And going into the process as kind of a mediator in between there, you hope for the best and you hope that people's hearts are in the right place. And as a teacher in the district and as a baseball coach in the district, on behalf of the kids, it's really nice to know that we have a lot of people in high positions that have good hearts and their hearts are in the right place. And we just wanted to say thank you, and we wanted to make sure those people that were involved and all of you that helped make it happen knew that you were appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you. Wyatt Hahn.
Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Wyatt, and I am a teacher and coach at Newport Harbor High School. This is my third year teaching, but actually my fourth year coaching baseball, and my third year alongside with Josh. So when I look at the facilities for baseball from the moment that I stepped on campus to where they are now, they're unbelievably different in good ways. And I'm just really here to say thank you. It's taken a lot of people, a lot of effort, just from all different perspectives and areas. And I can say as a coach and a teacher that I really believe that for our kids, they can kind of be at their field, the one they practice on every single day, where they play, and I think they can really be proud of their facilities for the first time in a while. So we're very thankful for that, and I know there's going to be more progress made in the future, and I'm just very excited for what's to come, and just want to say thank you to everybody here for your guys' support through the whole thing. So thank you.
Thank you. Next is superintendent comments.
What a great night. Wow. First off, to the Schools Foundation, just thank you for the work that you're doing, and I echo that to all of our folks out there in classrooms that are wishing they had more resources. Wish not. Instead, fill out those grant forms, work with your principals. Let's get you the resources that you want and need to benefit your students. to the parents and coaches, thank you for speaking up on behalf of your students from the first time you came in. The issue is about student safety, athlete safety. That resonated with the trustees at this dais because that's what they prioritize, the safety and well-being of students. I had a chance to go out and visit the facility with Sean. As some of you know, my dad coached baseball for 42 years at the high school level. That we had a field like that. There's still things we can do to improve it, and we're interested in that. We still have work to do on the softball diamonds because we are going to serve all students and all athletes, and we look forward to completing that. But parents and coaches, thank you for speaking up. Thank you for being patient. And I want to publicly thank our staff. One of the things that I asked Jeff Trader and Annette Franco to do is to work collaboratively on communicating with our constituents, giving them regular updates, even photo updates of where we are and where we're headed. And our coaches referenced that tonight. I'm grateful for Audit and her approach, Jeff for supporting that, Annette for your work, making sure. If people don't know, they're going to assume. And when they assume, they're going to assume negatively often. It's human nature. And they'll often get it wrong. So it's our responsibility to make sure they're not assuming. Let them know. So team, thank you for that work. And I just wanted to comment on something that Rhonda shared. Just know that Jeff and I fully support those efforts with the county. If this is an arbitrary date, and we believe that it probably is because it hasn't always been the case, which means it probably doesn't have to be the case now, then we're going to advocate on your behalf. It's not okay for folks to make obligations and commitments financially, and then for us on our end, I don't mean the district, I mean the systems, to not do their part in supporting them. It makes the employee look bad. It's not the employee. That's the system. Again, not the district, but we have a role in advocating, so we're going to do that on your behalf. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Smith. All right, we'll move on to item 17, achievement, and the report on the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. Socorro
Thank you.
Shields.
As Christy comes up and gets ready for the presentation.
16. Oh, to clarify, there are no public comments on agendized items.
Thank
So
you.
we'll move on to 17.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to share, too, and set the context. So as many of you know, and it might be new to some people, the state level has made $1 billion investment in after-school and expanded learning across the state. It is a big effort, particularly past COVID, to really give, as we like to say, like a second dose for students, more. And I want to really share that our program focuses not only on academics, but on building curious, persistent, collaborative learners. And we're very excited on what we're building on. It's a great opportunity to thank again Kathleen Leary, Lori Hogarth, Lori Hernandez, who have brought us to this time and space where we are. And working with Christy has been an amazing gift, and she is bringing new eyes and ideas to this program. And we felt it really important for people to really understand the magnitude of what this is and really understand the departure from what used to be ACEs. We still get that money, that after-school money, but that was a little lighter in terms of expected impact for students. And so really what we're growing and nourishing and nurturing to really offer to students, and I won't take any thunder from Christy and let her share, but we're very excited to share the context, the details, the depth of what this program brings.
Thank you so much, Socorro. I greatly appreciate that, along with your support. President Crane, Dr. Smith, board members, executive cabinet, and trustees, I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here tonight to talk about expanded learning opportunities. I must share with you, as I was leaving the house tonight, my husband, Mr. Flores, who is a teacher at Costa Mesa High School and a government teacher at that, said, "You better do well because I'm going to have a lot of students in the crowd and we will critique your presentation during class tomorrow." So fingers crossed that I pass this review from tonight's presentation. With that aside, I am really grateful for the opportunity to be here and to really highlight the program and the offerings. This evening, we are going to spend our time specifically talking about after-school program. As in the state of California, expanded learning opportunities really does focus on before school, after school, and summer school care. And our focus tonight will be in that after-school time. During our time after school, we really strive to provide a safe, caring, warm, and welcoming environment for all of our students. Programming is provided across the district, and that is led in collaboration with district staff as well as community partners. It is through consistent communication, that collaboration, and capacity building that we are really able to provide the opportunities for our students to thrive academically and socially, while also exploring options and pursuing their passions in the arts, athletics, science, technology, engineering, and math. And so, as mentioned, my purpose tonight is to highlight the impact of these programs at our elementary school sites, celebrate the efforts of the dedicated team members, and there are many, and share considerations for future planning. I'm going to first share the impact on our campuses. And I know that our ELOP program has been through many phases or eras, and as you might or might not be aware, it is challenging to staff a traditional school day. It is also very challenging to staff and to appropriately support an after-school program. And so there have been a variety of models that have been tested within our district. And currently, it is the partnership, the collaboration between the district-led, site-led, and also the community partner-led programs. So I'm going to share a couple of numbers with you, and first highlighting the programs that are led by our current district after-school staff. And you can see that we are located, Project Kids Connect, as it is referred to, is located at 5 school sites. And these 5 school sites support over 1,000 students during the after-school program, which is pretty impactful. And I just imagine the help that it provides for students and families once that school bell rings at the end of the day until 6 o'clock at night. Additionally, we have partnered with 2 organizations, including Boys and Girls Club and Think Together, and they are currently located at 5 different school sites, as you can see on the table: Pomona, Ray, Paularino, Sonora, and Wilson. And across these 5 sites, there are currently a combined 550 students that are supported after school. And then for the first time this school year, we have partnered with a new community partner called Right at School. These 5 school sites were selected because they were, based on last year's data, had 30% of unduplicated student count. And so really looking to see how can we continue to provide support across all of our school sites. That's just a little snapshot as to how that decision was made. But you can see the numbers here, and there are over 300 students attending the after-school programming led by Right at School. Now, regardless of the community partner or district-led program, all ELOP programs must follow and lean on the 12 quality standards that are written for ELOP within the state. Obviously, our team, we are talking about and we are reviewing and we are applying those 12 quality standards. But this year, we have selected 3 as our focus points. Safety is always our top priority, and making sure that we are providing a safe environment for our students, just like we do during the school day and carrying over to the after-school program. Active and engaged learning is also another focus point. We've had multiple conversations of how do we make sure that we are connecting with, building those relationships, making sure that students are enjoying their time and that they are thoroughly engaged in those after-school programs. And then, of course, focusing on continuous quality improvement. We have a really strong foundation of an ELOP program here in Newport-Mesa, but we are having regular conversations of how can we continue to improve and really focus on that quality improvement. I'm really proud of the teamwork across the sites as well as with the community partners. And some of the conversations that we have been having is really sharing best practices. What does that look like as we build those relationships? Because we understand that having a trusting relationship, just like the student board members were talking about, there are staff members in our after-school program who's that person for our students and help get our students to school. Really sharing those best practices and those resources, and that's done through meetings, but also through site visits. Taking practices that are done during our typical school day of these learning walks. We have begun to do that with our after-school programs where our leadership teams have gone and visited other school sites and really walked alongside them to see what is working, how can we learn from you. And not only is that learning occurring from site to site within our district, but I'm so grateful for the partnerships that we have built and that we are continuing to strengthen with other districts around the county. We can learn from others and also share what is working well, not just in the county, but also have strong partnerships with after-school leaders at the state level. We can have all of these programs and standards in place, but it's truly the people that make it happen. And while I have been involved with the ELOP program for a short period of time, I have quickly learned that the ELOP program is built and run and supported through some really amazing team members. And it is really a selfless team that supports these kids. There's no way that I can talk about ELOP without mentioning Kathleen Leary. She is the one who really established such a strong foundation, and I am so grateful for her leadership, her creativity, her attention to detail, her organization, and just really appreciate her. She's probably one of the most humble leaders that I know, but could not stand up here tonight without saying her name. I also want to thank Coordinator Lori Vertusio, her attention to detail and her outreach to our community partners, ROCKS, and the city programs. They have been a part of our meetings as we are also talking about quality standards and helping all of our community partners understand that when you are working with students in Newport-Mesa, you are a part of Team Newport-Mesa. I don't care what program or shirt name badge you have, but you are a part of Team Newport-Mesa, and these are the expectations that we have at all of our programs across our sites. I'm really grateful for the decisions made by district leadership as well as the school board to support these new positions. This is the first time that we have had admin interns specifically focusing on ELOP. They have really become such an asset to the school sites and really serve as a conduit between the traditional school day as their schedule typically begins around 10 o'clock and then they are there on the campus until 6 p.m. And so the collaboration, the communication, the connections that they have with students during the school day and then how that carries over and has really strengthened our after school program has been very observable in the impact across our school sites. It has been such a pleasure working with these three ladies. They are lead district instructional assistants, have so much potential and have so much experience within our district. They travel around our district and not only support our Project Kids Connect sites, but have also been very reliable leaders in observing after-school programs, working with our community partners, our enrichment programs across all of our school sites and across the district. Today I had the pleasure of meeting with this fantastic group. I will tell you that they love kids. They love kids and do such an amazing job at supporting students in our program. They're creative, they're dedicated, and do such an excellent job in the after-school program. We couldn't do it without our support staff either. It's my understanding that a new position added within the ELOP department was a site bilingual office assistant. You know how busy the school offices are during the school day. Well, and as you saw, the high percentage of students that are attending our after-school programs, and so to have these bilingual office assistants there in the late hours while students are still on our campus really makes a significant difference. So thank you to these team members, and thank you for your support in making this happen. As mentioned, we really rely on our community partnerships. I know this evening I have only listed and mentioned a few of them, but we are well aware of the outstanding after-school programs, whether that be through enrichment, site-based, that it is spread out all 22 elementary schools, and we look forward to continuing to evaluate and ensure that we are partnered with the right organizations and also communicating and implementing those high standards across all 22 schools. Just to give you a little snapshot, and if you ever want to go and visit one of our after-school programs, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'd love to take you and introduce you to those amazing team members and for you to be able to see what our students are doing after school. But this provides a short snapshot of what happens currently in our after-school program, where all students are provided a snack. All students are provided opportunities for problem solving, team building, collaborative skills. And all students are also provided support, whether that be with homework, or we've also led professional development and really encouraged our instructors to look for those opportunities to lead read-alouds. And to really think about, are our students always having that opportunity to hear somebody reading aloud to them at home? And so what does that look like? How can we take advantage of that time within our after-school program? And then, of course, we got to get our kids out and playing. And so there is structured physical activity built within that team, or within that time as well. Within our program, we also provide various enrichment activities. These are site-supported and district-supported. We look for opportunities in the arts, athletics, science, technology, engineering, and math, and really think about what are those experiences that we want our students to have. So that leads me finally to our considerations for the future. We will continue to focus on high-quality standards. What are those expectations? What do we expect of our staff members, as well as the offerings and the opportunities that we provide to all of our students? We're continuing to look at how can we better collaborate and really provide professional development across departments. If you think about these students that are attending our school day, these are the same students that are attending the after-school program. So how can we continue to build capacity and ensure that our after-school staff members are well-equipped to support our unique and diverse students' needs? So thinking about what does that look like before school, during school, and after school across all of our sites, really working closely with our community partners. And then also, how can we continue to better engage our parents and families, making sure that their voice is heard and recognized and applied in those offerings that we provide during the after-school programs. A lot of our conversations, as I conclude and just talk about those program offerings, is really to think about those experiences. Are we giving our students the chance to explore their passion? Are we giving our students the chance to think critically or to explore college and career readiness? What does that look like? What are those powerful moments that we can provide, and how can we be creative with our time after school? So I am really grateful for your continued support of the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm happy to turn it over for any questions or feedback this evening.
Thank you. Board members, any questions? Trustee Murphy?
Thank you. That sounds amazing. I appreciate the presentation. I just had, and I am so thrilled that we're able to offer so many after-school opportunities for our students. It really is so very important for a lot of families and for the students. As working parents. It's a huge gift. Not to mention homework time becomes less problematic for everybody. But just to clarify, the difference between site-supported and district-supported, when you said on the enrichment opportunities, are you talking about who's paying for the programs, or the sites picking the program, or the districts picking the, I wasn't sure what you meant by site-supported and
Sure.
versus
Let me clarify on that.
Sure.
There are a variety of funds available and also partnerships across our district. So when I say, when I'm talking about, like, for example, our PKC sites, that is through ELOP, and I recognize that I mentioned only some of our school sites, but we are also aware and understand that there are enrichment classes happening all across and on all 22 campuses.
So you're saying the site-supported are some of the enrichment stuff that the PTA or the
Correct.
is
So having been a principal at one of those sites previously, understand the variety of enrichment classes that are run through the PTA or foundation.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. And then just a quick question. I don't think you mentioned it, but I do appreciate you taking a look at all the programs and how we can make improvements and how we can, lead the programmatic development for better outcomes. But how can you do that? What's the difference? I'm sure there's a little bit of a difference between the district-led after-school programs and the community partner-led after-school programs. I mean, are you able to sort of provide that kind of guidance and feedback to the community-led programs
We
at
are.
the same level?
We are. And we're doing that in a couple of different ways. One, through surveys. And so surveys that are sent out to parents to receive feedback, surveys that are sent out to staff, as well as observations. And that's why it's so important, and that our team, and really relying on our district leads and other staff members to go and to visit and to really make sure that we are observing what was presented to us and what is stated in a meeting. Our coordinator, Lori Vertusio, also has regular monthly meetings with our community partners to share that feedback and to help streamline that communication of expectations and just to provide that consistency and follow through.
Great. That is great to hear. And I'm assuming that that the community-led programs are receptive and are working with you on the feedback, right?
Yes.
That's going well.
That's great.
Wonderful.
And we will continue to reevaluate.
Well, that's fabulous. That's the best way to do it. I think you're going to pass your test for tomorrow.
That's right. Trustee Wygand?
Yes, piggybacking on what Trustee Murphy said, are you working with the City of Newport Beach on their ACE classes as well to make sure that those that are offered on those campuses are high quality and getting the feedback and all that kind of good stuff?
I will share with you that I've had a couple of different meetings with the city in collaboration with the site principals. And so that is an area that I would love to continue to grow that communication within the 6 months that I've been in this role, and just learning who's who and supporting our school sites and really making sure, just like with our community partners, our city partners, and talking to them about those quality offerings.
Okay. And then currently, the ones that we offer as a district, those are funded by Title I funds, correct? Or only for Title I schools, right?
So those 9, and Jeff is, he is like our money expert here. Okay, so looking at those sites, there's a couple of different things. Our 9 ACES sites, and looking at Title I sites, unduplicated numbers, and student percentages there.
Okay. Is there any plans to roll those out to schools that don't have that type of community?
We are continuing to evaluate and to look at our program offerings as well as our staffing capacity, and really thinking creatively, what could we do differently? Staffing is, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. And so we just want to make sure that we are providing consistency for our students in the afternoon. And if we have just a constant revolving door because of subs or, empty spots, really looking and weighing the pros and cons of which direction to go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course.
Trustee Anderson?
Thank you. Thank you for this report. Also following up on what was asked about the kind of connection with our community partners. I'm glad to hear that there is a monthly meeting. I was wondering how you guys bridge the gap between classroom teachers and after-school programs. I know I've worked with a lot of tutoring programs and a lot of after-school kind of nonprofits and communities, and one of the main pieces is trying to find out and ascertain what exactly you should be doing for homework and trying to keep, that really relevant and streamlined. And I think I know that was one of my concerns previously when we only had Project Kids Connect, and so I was just wondering how we are doing that now that we have more community partners, and if we're doing that and how we're doing it.
Sure. I will share with you, I do believe that that collaboration and that communication is an area that we can grow and strengthen. One of the ways that we are doing it is a reallocation of staffing support and really leaning on our district leads and examining where our staff are located and seeing where the need is. And what that means is that there have been some staff members who have been reassigned, district staff members, to ensure that communication from the site to the after-school program is as best as it can be. But there are still ways that we can improve, and this is a constant conversation of what can we do to strengthen that school day and that after school time, and just, there's a variety of ways that we could do that and that we're continuing to explore.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I know that some of our schools are much better at that, and I think oftentimes the people who are in those programs know what they need from a classroom teacher, so I think it could be helpful maybe to have like a one-pager that like every day, if we know if there's 40% of kids that are going, just like here's what they're working on. Or I think particularly for reading, it's really difficult at times to know exactly what you should be working on with the student, but there's very clear things we can do. And so I just want to make sure there's articulation. And then I was wondering too, like around that monthly meeting, is there training on some of just kind of basic principles of phonics and some of those components that somebody who would be tutoring might need? Or some of the way that we teach math, is some of the conversation about like how we are teaching and what we're teaching, or more like kind of systems?
It varies. They're 30-minute check-in meetings.
They're really short. Oh, okay.
They're short.
Okay.
But I will share with you, because safety is our number one priority, and really thinking about the time that we have with students in that after-school program. Active and engaged supervision is always our number one priority. And so ensuring that those community partners are applying the same strategies that we have in the structure, the management, the supervision. There have been, and all of our community partners have been invited and have attended our district-led PD. So thinking about in August, they joined us. On November 1st, when we had professional development, focusing on our PBIS implementation and those strategies that our district adopted, as well as some of those, what are those reading? I mean, we had one of our admin interns stand up in front of all of our, several of our admin interns, but one stood up and modeled, this is how you engage students in a read aloud. These are the strategies that you use. This is how you can engage them in comprehension questions. And so all of our community partners have been invited to those professional development days.
Awesome.
I also I also think it's important, one of the things we've realized is this is not a replication of during the day, right? That it's a different staff, it's a different level of expertise and knowledge of that phonics, and that some of our students really can't persist like 6 hours later still in the same activities that they did earlier in the day. I mean, that's why we try and protect that AM time, because that's like, you know, when all the neurons are firing in that academic way. And so really, what are the opportunities based on the assets of the staff we have that really help create those persistent learners so that they're excited to come back to school the next day, they're curious and they're staying in it and they're learning not just in the after-school program, but they're coming to school the next day, excited to be there, excited to be with their teacher and their colleagues and the rest of the school community. And so really thinking outside of just doing more of the same in after school, but how do we do it differently? And how do we look at those general skills that good students, good scholars have, and how do we keep building those assets in students after school, before school, over summer, that isn't just academics. It is academics, but from a different lens and angle.
That's helpful. Yeah, I think one of my concerns, I hear that. I think one of my concerns is we have some students who could be maybe 2 grade levels behind. And so if they have an hour, if they're there from, 3 to 6, if there's an hour of targeted instruction time, that's maybe if there was articulation from the classroom teacher, maybe they would do, going through, if they're like in 2nd grade, they would go through the sight words that they're needing to work on. It could be a game, they could do 15, 20 minutes on Lexia. Like, it's not just like in front of a classroom teacher teaching as we would do necessarily in the morning time. But I think really targeting students that might be there that are struggling, because I think one of the things in the past, it was just more enrichment, and I think I'm glad that we have a lot of really great partners. I think Think Together has really proven that they do that well, but I just want to make sure that all of our programs, if a parent is sending their child to that and they're thinking that's what they're getting, I just want to make sure that we're offering that and we're doing it well and with accountability.
I think that is the journey and the idea of how we gamify things and how we make it similar and complementary but different, and those same kind of basic skills in different ways. So things like sight words, things like basic math facts that every good scholar kind of needs a good handle on, those are things we can build in different ways, but it does look different than small group instruction at the kidney table in the back, that just build it again on the assets we have and a double dose of that information, but in a way that's new and novel to the student, so they're more receptive, and it's just coming in another way to refortify what they need to know. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to make sure that we're doing that. And then also, I think someone brought it up earlier, but just making sure, I wanted to know what the process looks like for training around safety. So our after-school programs know, if there's an earthquake at 4:20, they know what to do. If it's 4:45, here's what happens if there's a fire, and here's where you go. What is that? Have we been doing safety trainings with?
We've had some real-life examples where our emergencies happened after hours. So it has been glaringly clear that it is a point of attention. And I think just like the school day, we're never there. It's never enough. We always have to keep going. But it's a known and experienced anxiety that emergencies don't happen at the most opportune times. They also happen after school or at dismissal or at wild transitions. And so we have had to really up our game. But like everything else, there is always more to do and ways to be more clear and making sure that new people coming on are onboarded with that information. Maybe we did it before a group of people came on and we need to do it again and refresh. So those are always going through. Even our community partners who aren't our staff per se, but we want coherence between how we discipline, how we address safety, all of those things, because it needs to flow into the next school day. We've had to fortify all those efforts.
Okay, that sounds really good. And then I was looking at the website for Right at School, and it looks like they also do camps during break, for winter break, for spring break, and I know that's one of the things that's come up oftentimes with principals and with parents that I've talked to, as well as during President's Week. And so have we had any conversations with them possibly about doing that at some of our school sites, and or do we have any plans upcoming that is maybe not connected to them or maybe connected to the cities for specifically for President's Week?
We don't
Otherwise known as Ski Week to our friends in Newport Beach.
We don't have those online yet. Those are certainly conversations, and we would need to rely on partners. As you know, the way our staff experiences those breaks, it would be hard to build with our staff since they are literal breaks that people are encouraged and need to take. But there are ways to work with our partners, certainly, and maybe have a sprinkling of opportunities for parents who would really value those type of support services while they continue to work.
So maybe to come.
To come.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay. And then I have just one last question. I saw that there's before school that was mentioned, and I know we've been doing kind of a pilot at Whittier, and I was just wondering if there were any plans to expand that. I think there's an interest at Mariners at one point. Like, is there any conversation about having before school programs at any other sites?
There are conversations. As far as solidified plans, we are not there yet, but there have been conversations.
And what would that, like, do you guys need parent surveys? Would you need input from like PTA leaders? How?
We probably need, those would probably come up during budget discussions as well, because those will require extra help on our side for things like that. And so if those are priorities of the board and where we want to see investments in the future, I mean, certainly everything's on the table.
Okay. Because I feel like if there's only 2 sites that maybe wanted it, then the budget would look really different than if we expanded it and offered it at every site. And I love to see that there's 10, I think there's more than 10 agreements on our consent calendar for community partners. It's probably the most that I've ever seen. So I think having the report and then also seeing all of those in real time get approved is wonderful. So
Good point.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate all the information and the effort from the team.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. We'll move on to item 18, legislative and state budget updates. Trustee Bartor Murphy, do we have a report?
Yes, I will give a quick report. So the Governor Newsom released his 24-25 budget proposal recently, and if you guys remember, the LAO office thought it would be a $68 billion shortfall. With this budget, it's a $38 billion shortfall. The nice thing was he kept in this draft. I mean, this draft is great for schools, and then, it'll have to go to the legislature, so we'll see where we end up. For right now, in January, we're looking at a lot of preservation to education funding, and to what specifically benefits us is a focus on the ELOP. Those won't be experiencing any cuts in this draft, as well as with the infrastructure school facilities program funding that is reduced from, I believe it was 550 million to 375. There was a cut, but it's still in the budget, so that's really good. For us, we're basic aid, so that things shake out a little bit differently overall. I think the biggest, probably, not that it's unexpected, but I know that we've been advocating for funding for universal TK for districts like ours, and while that has not been cut in the budget, it's, with a $38 billion shortfall, it's not likely that we're going to get a cut for our school districts like ours. So that's probably the biggest impact so far. There's lots of other things, especially regarding Prop 98 funds and professional development and career technical education. Lots and lots of one-time cuts, but I think the biggest thing on here that's not specifically education related is that there are lots of cuts for homelessness funding and for mental health funding, and I think we'll end up seeing the impact of that if the cuts to those budgets maintain. So just something for us as trustees to kind of keep an eye out on ways we can work with community partners and to anticipate challenges in those areas with our families. And I will have more. I go up to the CSBA legislative meeting, I believe, February 9th. So our next meeting, I will have more to report from that regarding specific bills that are coming through and things to watch and where we as school board trustees can take action. But that's all I have for today.
No, that was great.
Trustee Murphy?
We'll know more in May.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's move on to item 19, which is our consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
If I may, I have my light on, sorry. Before you go, I thought that our staff that does ELP was going to come forward, so I didn't say thank you to them. Our staff from Whittier, who's amazing. I didn't know also that I was going to be the last speaker. So I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, you are here way past the time that you work, and I know that you are there every single day, like, giving your heart. So thank you so, so much.
We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to item 19, consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, moved by Trustee Pearson and seconded by Trustee Ursulou. Thank you. Roll call vote.
Trustee Crane?
Yes?
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes, and also I have my light on for this. I just wanted to also highlight, thank you, Mr. Trader, for listening to our ample cries for shade structures, and also for the air conditioning and the ventilation, specifically at Tewinkle, but also it looks like at Newport L. Thank you so much for bringing those forward. I know multiple trustees and parents have asked for both of those, so thank you very much. I wanted to highlight them so they didn't get lost.
Thank you, Trustee Anderson. I echo that. All right, so the vote was unanimous, and we move on to discussion action calendar, item 20A, accepting the financial audit reports for the 2022-2023 year. Mr. Trader.
Good evening. Tonight you have with you your auditor, Christy White from Christy White Incorporated. And I think it's important to note that your auditor reports directly to you. Does not report to staff, although we work very hard to be transparent, provide everything that she asked for, her team asked for, to provide unfettered access to all records of the district. And I do know that, the auditor will meet with the board on occasion and be able to have that direct relationship. But it's important to note, the auditor reports directly to you. So, Christy.
Thank you, Mr. Trader. Good evening, board members, superintendent. It's a pleasure to be here. And, excuse me, so I'm here to present the audit report for the 22-23 fiscal year. And as you can see, it's quite a weighty document. It is very all-inclusive. It is not only the financial statements of the district, but also federal compliance and then also state compliance. And every year they keep adding more and more of these compliance areas. So there's a lot of ground that we cover in doing our audit. We go out to like twice a year. First, we start with school sites, and we look at attendance, even though you're basic aid. Some things are funded that way. And also the student body funds. We look at internal controls, the district office. At year end, we're looking at the financials and again, all of that compliance. So the results are all in this big report. I'm only going to touch on the highlights, but if you have any questions, please let me know. So on page 1 is the opinion on the financial statements. So this would be provided to the public, to your bondholders, to the federal and state agencies, and you have the best opinion that you can receive. It's an unmodified opinion, and in the second paragraph, in our opinion, the financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects. So very good job there. And so good job with the finance department and pulling together the financials. Also, just in the audit report itself, there's a section called the Management Discussion and Analysis, just pointing it out that there's some good information in there, kind of comparisons to the prior year, changes in financial position. There's also the government-wide financial statements, which is a full accrual basis, and so it's the only place you really see that. It shows your capital assets, it shows all the long-term debt, and then the net position on an accrual basis. There's a lot of footnotes that describe all the different types of accounts and the activity within. Your district has maintained its financial status and fiscal health, so we do look at that as a going concern. And so we have no concerns there. I mean, you have been declining enrollment, so in some ways that might help you financially, but in other ways, there's challenges with declining enrollment as well. Then we have the two other opinions on federal and state compliance. Both of those are the best opinion also. So we had no compliance findings, we had no significant deficiencies to report, which probably means that next year, as for the federal audit, you'll probably become a low-risk auditee, which is good. And then we also follow up on the prior year findings, and there were several findings in various categories of state compliance. And there's been so many new programs rolling out or change in programs such as the ELOP that you were just hearing about. So in addressing all those challenges, the district did comply with those programs and implemented effective actions to correct the deficiencies in the prior year. And we have no deficiencies to report this year. So, very good job. We really appreciate working with the staff. They're so responsive to everything that we need. As you can imagine, there's a lot of documentation that we look at, and so they provide it very timely so that I could be here tonight. And any questions you have, I'm happy to answer.
Trustees? Trustee Murphy?
No, I don't have any questions. It was all good news, so thank you. I just want to say thank you to Jeff and his team for getting us to where we are and not having any compliance issues. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Anyone else? 'Cause I have. Trustee Anderson?
Like, I'm putting my light. I don't know if you're seeing it down there.
I have my computer, but I have
Okay.
an assistant who's helping me now.
I was just wondering, I know with our past auditor, we were able to sit down with them and ask any questions that we had, and we are excited to have someone new. I think fresh eyes is great. What would do we just set up like a 1-hour meeting? Do we want to do a day where we each have 20 minutes? Or, I just have a couple of questions, but I think just going forward, it would be great to have like a plan and a schedule in place. Or what would be the
I'm
best?
certainly open to anything that you'd like. It could be done on an audit committee or one-on-one, so.
I
by
think if
working
it's the
through
will of the board,
superintendent.
can I see a show of hands? Would anyone be interested in that?
I don't think we can vote, actually.
Can we vote?
You can't vote on that at
Or
the
just
dais. You
a show of
can't ask for that.
hands? Okay. No, all right.
But I would like to ask that we would have maybe an ad hoc committee that could go through that and perhaps meet with you. I just have a couple of questions,
right.
but I think going forward, it would be great.
Great idea. We'll do that.
Thank you.
I had a question. On page 6 of the audit report, there under assets, it shows a sizable growth in our assets from year 22 to 23 of about $80 million. Could you expand on how we grew so much? And it's from 313 million, 380,000 to 392.
The details of that, I would have
Okay.
to look it up. I don't know
That's
if
fine. We
Jeffrey
can
would
have-
know off the top of his head, but this document here is prepared by management, and so it does show the various changes, but the components within, I could probably guess if I started looking at the footnotes here, because they would provide some more information.
So we do actuarial reports on our what's called other post-employment benefits, and that can fluctuate quite a bit. That's part of it. And then, of course, just the general increase in revenues that we experience. So I suspect that those two items contributed to that change.
Yeah, also the cash and county treasury, it's valued at fair market value. So if the markets are up, then your deposits are up too, and that could contribute.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, then. Let's see. Go back to the right page. Do I have a motion to accept the financial audit reports for the 2022-2023 year?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, moved by trustee Wangand and seconded by trustee Pearson. Roll call vote.
Student Board Member Valeria Orozco.
You say yes.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Weigand.
Yes.
Trustee Soilu.
Yes.
Trustee Bartow.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
All right, the vote is unanimous. The ayes win, and we will now move on to item 21, adopting resolution number 110124, approving issuance of separate and consolidated requests for qualifications and requests for proposals for lease-leaseback construction services for multiple projects. Mr. Trader?
Tonight you have before you authorization for the staff to entertain a alternative procurement delivery method, lease-leaseback, for very specific projects. One for housing, for interim housing for staff as we do remodels and those kinds of things at our various sites. Another one is to renovate the lunch area at Estancia High School, where the old pool used to be. We're concerned about doing that as quickly as we can. And then the other project is some various portables, that relocatable buildings that we plan on placing at various sites to make room for a lot of our growth.
Great. Do I have a motion or any questions? Trustee Anderson?
Do we want to make a motion first? And then we'll ask questions?
So moved.
Yeah, we'll do the motion.
Second.
All right, we have trustee Wygand making the motion and trustee Arsoilu making the second.
Can I have one question?
We're going to have
Okay,
discussion
good.
following. All right, let's, if any have any questions, trustee Anderson and followed by trustee Murphy.
Thank you. I was just wondering, I'm glad that we're doing this to expedite some of these projects, and I'm glad I actually had looked at this previously and I did not see the final page because I was like, it seems not specific. It seems like it's for all of our projects. Do we foresee needing to use this beyond these Class 1 and Class 2 project lists? Is this something that we're anticipating we might want to do going forward, and/or when we're done doing these projects, do you foresee us needing to do this again? Or it's a bit different than what we usually do, so I just wanted for the public to have more information, please.
That's a very good point. It is true. It is exceptional that we do this. We're doing this especially because we have some pressing needs to move forward on, and these projects were identified as those that really needed to move forward in an expedited manner, and so I expect you would not see this very often.
Thank you.
Trustee Murphy?
Just for clarification, Jeff, because the auditor just talked about declining enrollment and you just talked about growth. So just for everyone's knowledge, the difference?
Yes, so we overall are declining, but in some of our areas we are increasing, and we're feeling that. We don't have a whole lot of capacity at some of our schools. And then in addition, we're moving forward with TK. So TK is an expansion of a grade, and we're seeing some growth there. And then we also have our programs like ELOP that require some staffing, some storage, those kinds of things, some space to effectively move those programs forward. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Any other questions? All right, let's go ahead and vote.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
All right, the vote is unanimous. We'll move on to 21B, adopt resolution 120124 on board member compensation for missed meeting. And Dr. Smith would like to provide some context.
Yeah, just for the kind of edification of our community watching. Trustees prepare for board meetings much more than on their way to the board meeting. They have the preview of the agenda for 3 days. They do research with staff, questioning throughout that 3-day period, even into the week of the board meeting, in preparation for participation in public. But sometimes things come up, and that's why CSBA recommends a policy, which we have. It's in fact a bylaw that's been around the district for a bit, 2015 in fact, and it's bylaw 9250, and it talks about remuneration for trustees if they have to miss a meeting for business of the board, illness, jury duty, or hardship, and it has to be provided through a resolution, and the exhibit is what you have in front of you. And we had a trustee who was ill, so ill in fact that if we tried to Zoom, she couldn't participate because she was that sick. And so it's provided in our bylaw, explicitly stated, and so the exhibit in front of you, or the resolution, is based on the exhibit in our board bylaws.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Weigand
Second.
makes the motion, and Trustee Murphy seconds the motion. Roll call vote.
I have.
We have a comment.
Gonna move.
Oh.
Sorry.
The computer screen is in a way, so I need to
You're gonna have to
I
move the
need
computer.
to probably gain about 4 inches in height. Trustee Anderson.
Yeah, I was interested in this one because I think obviously if it was created in 2015, it was before our pandemic days. And so I just wanted to possibly bring this forward to our policy review committee to just discuss. I think, to me, it's a little superfluous for us to have this. I think a lot of us do hours and hours of work on the board, and so it just seems a little silly to have to rationalize something like this. So I just wanted it to be something that we discuss. If we want to keep it, if we want to amend it going forward. Obviously, I'm going to vote for it today, but I think it's something to consider and discuss amongst ourselves.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, ready for the votes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Do I have to abstain because it's me? Do I have to abstain?
You absolutely can.
Because it's me, am I supposed to?
You don't have to abstain.
Oh, you can vote. Yes?
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes. It's exactly for that reason, like voting for something by yourself.
Thank you.
is a lot.
It's unanimous. And now we move on to informal report, agenda item 22, with Superintendent Smith.
So it's great to have everybody back from the break, our students, our staff. It's funny, they seemed rested the day they got back, and now 2 weeks later, maybe not so much. I think that's just a function of how hard they work and how hard they push to improve themselves and others each and every day. I've had the chance in the last couple of weeks to attend several parent meetings at campuses, PTA, zone packs. Really just want to give a shout out to our folks on our campuses throughout the district, in all of our schools. The support they provide is, it's special. It truly is. And so to all of you out there watching or listening, thank you for leaning in to supporting our folks and most importantly, our students. I want to thank our staff as well. Recently, we've had some vandalism on campuses. that have threatened to shut down our schools. And of course, vandalism doesn't happen at a convenient time, probably because everyone's around at convenient times. It happens late at night on a Sunday before we welcome 18,000 young people and 3,100 adults back. And all throughout this recent Sunday, we had folks working nonstop to open 2 facilities that were hit by vandalism. And so to our classified folks that showed up on a weekend, that worked all day to make sure that our classrooms were open safely, who investigated once they were looking into the vandalism to make sure that there weren't other issues at play, that they could give a clean bill of health to those campuses as we opened. Thank you for that extra time that you took away from family to deal with an unfortunate circumstance like vandalism in the community. What a silly thing to do, attack a school. If for nothing else, parents, we provide babysitting, right? So as you're out there watching the community, see something, say something. If you see someone on our campus when they shouldn't be there, call law enforcement immediately, right? Because this is unnecessary, and it threatens to stop the learning process for periods of time. And our students deserve more than that. Our adults deserve more than that. So again, to our labor leaders, please let your teams know. Even certificated were displaced, counselors and others, because their offices were shut down. It's not nice to be displaced. So to all of our staff, thank you, thank you, thank you for keeping our classrooms open without a hitch. And then last week we had a chance to go to City Council, and I want to publicly thank the City Council members who voted to support their own planning commission and deny the appeal of Vista Meridian Charter to open up a school in our district. Again, it's worth noting that they did not go to the district for authorization for their charter. They went to the county. They did not notify us per ed code that they were going to open in our district. They put in writing that, in fact, they would not open in our district. They said in writing, we're not going to open now or in the future in your district. Newport-Mesa schools are some of the best in the state. Right? That's a quote. But they petitioned the county. We showed up and shared the facts, are concerned about land use, and the City Council agreed with us. And so I just want to thank them for listening. I want to thank staff for showing up. I want to thank the elected officials for doing their part to communicate our concerns therein. Again, we support all high-quality educational opportunities and choices for our families. If it's of high quality, how can we not lean into that? When it doesn't go through the process, when it's inappropriate, then we must defend our families against these threats to quality. And that's what our folks did. And I want to thank our team for showing up. And again, thank the council publicly.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. I also would like to recognize the fact that one of our student board members also spoke at the Costa Mesa Council meeting. Victor, thank you. You were very articulate and eloquent, and I think your words made a difference. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to the informal board member reports and committee reports, and we will begin with Trustee Anderson, and then move this way.
Thanks. Yes, I just wanted to echo that and give a special shout out to Jeff Trader, Mr. Trader, for all of your fast work related to that, and then also to our other charter. I wanted to also point out that we started our partnership with the city of Costa Mesa to open some of our playgrounds as parks. So while there has been some specifically copper-related theft on some of our campuses, some of our other schools are open, like Whittier, for access for the first time. So if you do see people at Whittier, do not call the police, because if they are there between the hours, there's signs that are out front. Hopefully we will see more people there playing soccer and using the facilities there. I believe it's now open at Whittier and Ray and Wilson, and I'm not sure. I think the city is taking care of that piece. So I'm not sure if they've finished at their fourth school, opening and having enough staff. But so that is on the weekends and during breaks. So like if you live in those neighborhoods and you want to play soccer at Whittier after school or on the weekends, you can play on the weekends, not after school. And then I just wanted to also highlight, there have been a couple of us that have been talking to community partners to create new programs that are more kind of one-on-one mentoring experiences for high school students. I talked to a lot of high school students that have been interested in boxing, creative writing, and arts that are more just kind of informal than having an after-school program that's on site. And so just talking to some community partners to see how we can do that and advance that work. And then on February 3rd, if you live in the Freedom Homes neighborhood over kind of by Victoria Elementary, there's going to be a pancake breakfast that's open to the community. That's for people if they wanted to check it out to see if they wanted to send their child there for TK or kindergarten. But then also too, it literally says, if you have been a past, present, or future Victoria student. So if you've gone to Victoria in the past, please come to the Victoria Pancake Breakfast. And then lastly, I'm looking forward to our Costa Mesa City Liaison meeting this Friday and continuing partnerships to get some of the details worked out about the playgrounds as parks and just continue to build positive relationships. So when we call about certain things, we can have great interactions. So that is all. Thank you.
It's been a nice month. I enjoyed all the holiday programs, before Christmas. Enjoyed the Patrick's Purpose Walk, which was December 16th, and it was just so great to see our community come out and support wellness in our community, which is fantastic. The highlight for me this month was the Lincoln Lion King play, which goes along with what Miss Christy Flores was talking about. I'm pretty sure that was an expanded learning opportunity. And Christy, I want to thank you for the quality, working with our principals and making sure the quality of these programs are fantastic. I've had a couple principals say to me they enjoy having you on campus visiting and knowing what's going on, and I really appreciate that. I also like working, it was a wonderful meeting with the city of Newport Beach. Loved working with them, and I loved that our superintendent, Dr. Smith, brought them into this fight for kindness with our students. We can teach and help kids be kind on campus, but it really is something that we need to work with the entire community and with our cities. And I loved that he spearheaded that and kind of held them a little bit of accountable for working with us, not to help work with us on creating not just kind schools, but a kind community. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
So guess last night it was at the Costa Mesa High School PTA meeting that was well attended, and so thank you to the PTA liaisons out there. There was obviously a lot of concern from, expressed by the parents about the vandalism at Costa Mesa. They were really sad and upset about it, understandably. But I just wanted to thank again Jeff and his team, especially Asim Babovic and the IT team, who worked so hard to get the school close to up and running on Monday. And I know it was a big lift, and so we appreciate so very much. The parents were very appreciative of all of your work over the weekend, unfortunately. And I also attended the Costa Mesa High School Foundation meeting. And for some of you who may remember their big fundraising events of the past that were kind of put on hiatus during COVID, it is coming back Saturday, May 4th at Dick Church's, the Costa Mesa High School Foundation fundraiser and retirement party for the Linfers. So that is an amazing teaching couple at Costa Mesa. They are going to be deeply and greatly missed, and so we are looking forward to celebrating them and whooping it up at Dick Church's. So I hope everyone can join us on Saturday, May 4th. And then tomorrow, I'm looking forward to Paularino's PTA and Science Night. This is, I think, such a great thing for PTAs to be involved with and to support. So after the PTA meeting, they're going to be doing a Science Night Exploring Science Camp with stations and experiments. So that is going to be fun tomorrow night. I also am looking forward to, for as much as I can, attend the CAC meeting, the community, oh, Lisa. Yes, the Community Advisory Committee. I have too many acronyms in my head. Meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Best Center, 2045 Meyer Place. Tomorrow's meeting is going to focus on parent education, communication, and language. It's been nice to see those meetings be well attended as well by our special needs community. And then not to forget that on Wednesday, January 31st, if you all can attend the College and Career Fair at the fairgrounds, it's going to be a great event for all the students still sitting in the audience with us. It's going to be in the evening. I think it starts at 6:30, 6-ish, something like 6:30.
6 to 8.
They're going to have colleges, universities there, CTE, career technical assistance programs there, a FAFSA workshop for some of you who may not be familiar. It's the financial aid application and an NCAA workshop. So students, please tell your friends to go over to the fairgrounds on Wednesday, January 31st in the evening to our College and Career Fair night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I am glad to be back. My family and I have spent most of January with either I being sick or me taking care of somebody who's been sick. So I think today is the first day where nobody's sick. That's great. Maybe yesterday. Is today Tuesday? Yes, that makes 2 days. So anyways, through that, I attended the Coastline ROP meeting, and I'm excited to see a lot of the new programs that they're bringing. We rotate, so Barbara Schulman of Saddleback Valley is representing as the president. She's the CTE representative for Saddleback Valley, but she's also the president this year, so we're glad to have her back. She's a great historian, and I will have lots of pictures to share because she's really good about making sure we take them. Newport Heights Elementary is performing Mary Poppins Jr. this weekend, so I highly recommend that you check it out. It's pretty cute from the tech week I've seen. And then, which brings me to a big thank you. It's not very convenient for this play, but it's a big thank you that the Newport Harbor High School Theater sound renovation project is occurring. So thank you to Jeff and all the staff for, that's been a long-awaited project. It does mean that a lot of us elementary schools are performing our play at Huntington Beach Central Library, so that's a little bit inconvenient, but it's well worth it to get that project done. And then again, I'd like to echo the thank you for the baseball field renovation. I got a chance to walk over there and take a look. It's really beautiful. Newport-Mesa has so many unique programs. I was at the Newport Harbor High PTA meeting, and the IB program did a presentation there, and I was reminded of what a unique and special program that is that we offer. If you're a student and you're thinking about it, the meeting is on Thursday at lunch, so you should check it out. It's a great way to, I know a lot of students, one of my neighbors actually, her daughter ended up at University of St. Andrews in Scotland, and she said that there were so many Americans there with her that she felt quite at home. So if you're thinking about maybe studying internationally, that's a really easy way to do so, is getting that diploma. And then lastly, we had our student from Monte Vista Independent Study come and talk, and I just wanted to thank the district for everything they've done with that program. One of my students is concurrently enrolled at Monte Vista in addition to their home school, and it has just been such a wonderful, unique, nurturing, special environment. I'm so glad that we can offer it, and it's really, really cool, all the options that we give for all of our students. So thank you very much.
And I'm going to give you 3 minutes of your life back because I'm just excited to be healthy enough to be out of the house now. So I have nothing to report other than I'm better and it's great.
With your voice back.
Yeah. I'm happy you're healthy. And everyone. Yes, welcome back. Happy New Year. It's been a great time to be back, and now in my position to be working with the student board members. We did get to meet Sayla Reddick, who is our new board member from Monte Vista. We didn't have one previously, and to start the year off, and so she applied in December and got the role. So she already left, but she did a beautiful job presenting. I also wanted to thank everyone that works on the weekends to make sure that our schools are ready on Monday. I know how, as a working parent, it'd be very disappointing to have to change up your day and if your kids can't go to school. So I want to thank everyone for working overtime on that. I got some other opportunities to go to some PTA meetings. I have a STEM night or Thursday night at Mariners Elementary, and then like Trustee Anderson said, we have the Costa Mesa City Liaison meeting where we will talk about our schools being open, but also thank them for their support on the appeal on the charter school.
Great. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. New year, that means that we have our new study session, which is basically focused on our governance team. And so we're looking forward to a special session of the board on January 31st. And it's actually a great time for us to meet, revisit our protocols, talk about our governance and how we're doing and how we can always do better. So we're looking forward to doing that next week, January 31st, as a board. I would like to also echo Dr. Smith and Rhonda Reed's comment about schools first. I think we forget that our teachers and classified employees are human. They have bills to pay. They have families to feed. And for schools first to be such an amazing, understanding partner, I mean, they're a bank. They actually made special circumstance actions to help our employees. So everyone go sign up and get an account there. No, I actually been a member for 34 years, a proud member of Schools First.
You can only get an account if you work for a school. That's part of it.
Mm-hmm. They do allow siblings and immediate family members. Anyway, thank you, Schools First. And as I listen to our speakers that come up here, whether they're students or community members or staff members, I'm absolutely just so proud of the fact that we are a district that connects with people. We understand that we are in a service industry in the sense that we provide services that affect humans. And whether it was the Newport Harbor parents that came and said thank you, whether it's our Lisa Bowler who comes and also thanks us for our partnership and our allies, it's just very heartening to know, even Christy Flores, our own staff, thanking those that she works with, colleagues. There's a respect. We all know that we work hard here and we care, and our North Star is the kids. So thank you all for that. And what a great way to start the year in connecting and appreciating our staff, our community. So attended Battle of the Bay, soccer, basketball. Unfortunately, we didn't always come on top as Corona Del Mar. However, the effort is there. It's valiant, and it's tradition. Yeah, we did have our girls basketball win, and that was nice to get the W. I would like to also commend our Parent Education Series team. On January 30th and March 13th, we're having a Zoom, Raising Responsible Digital Citizens. And to a lot of parents, it's a scary world to give your child one of these. And the best thing you could do is be educated on how to guide your children and also how to monitor their activity online, especially at the younger ages. So please, if you'd like to sign up, 2 dates, January 30th and March 13th in the evening. And that's it. I want to thank our team. And we'll see you next week, January 31st, 9 to 12. And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting.